God's blessings, people of hope. Well, I just had a very interesting conversation because, I was talking to the young man sitting behind the camera here, and he was talking about that rotisserie thing that used to keep track of addresses and names and things like that. And eventually we taught him that a Rolodex is not a watch on your wrist. A Rolodex is where you keep names and numbers and contacts for the people that you need in your life. One of the things that it's important for us to know, God keeps a Rolodex too. In fact, Revelation talks about the Lamb's Book of Life. And it's powerful because it says, God desires all to be in. In fact, he says the name will be blotted out of the Lamb's Book of Life, which means the default setting is he wants to give grace. The default setting, God has a Rolodex filled of people he desires to show grace to. And yet, some people choose to remove their names from that Rolodex. To look at God and say, you know what, I know what you're offering, but I desire something else. To look at God and say, I don't need you. Paul writes and Peter writes in both of their epistles, God desires all to be saved. How does he do that? Through the blood of Jesus Christ. How does he get that news out? You. And so as we stand here at Easter, I have to ask you, who are you going to give the good news to? Who's in your Rolodex that you want in God's Rolodex? So on that last day, you hear, well done, thy good and faithful servant. We don't evangelize because it gets us into heaven. We evangelize because we've been given heaven. Now, my friends, take that good news that the Lord is risen and give it to your neighbor.